Europe has a cultural bridge where church bells and mosque calls still echo together. But behind the historic aesthetics lies a highly complex political system and some of the lowest prices on the continent. Look at the capital, Sarajevo. It is one of the rare places on Earth where you can find a mosque, a Catholic church, an Orthodox church, and a synagogue, all sharing the exact same walking block. Yet right next to that historic density, the scars of the 1990s conflict are literally baked into the skyline. Bullet-pocked walls and shattered facades stand shoulder to shoulder with modern cafes. Beneath this duality of beauty and history lies an economic reality that severely penalizes local workers while offering massive financial advantages to outsiders. Welcome to the 99% reality of Bosnia and Herzegovina. This map highlights Bosnia and Herzegovina's unique geopolitical position. It is completely surrounded by the Walsy European Union, yet legally sits entirely outside the borderless Schengen zone. This isolation creates a sharp economic paradox. This chart shows the cost of rent for a modern one-bedroom apartment in the capital city, ranging from just $250 to $450 a month. But look at the local median wage, which sits between $600 and $800 a month. For locals, rent consumes nearly all their disposable income. This gap is the engine of geographic arbitrage, the mathematical advantage you gain when you earn strong foreign currency but spend it in a low-cost economy. To decide if this country makes sense for your next move, we need to evaluate the data through three distinct lenses: the remote digital nomad, the budget traveler, and the relocating expat. At the street level, the lifestyle here operates on an entirely different rhythm than Western Europe. The pace is deliberately relaxed. Locals will frequently sit and talk over a single cup of traditional, strong Bosnian coffee for hours. This dual-axis chart plots purchasing power against your source of income, showing exactly how to afford that lifestyle. Digital nomads sit squarely in the top right quadrant. Earning euros or US dollars from outside the country unlocks immense leverage over local food and housing costs. You can buy massive local meals, like cevapi, for under $9. Conversely, if you participate directly in the local economy, you fall into the bottom left quadrant. Earning in the local market effectively neutralizes the country's low cost of living. The domestic economy relies heavily on lower-margin sectors like tourism, timber, and manufacturing, which severely cap local median wages. The national currency, the convertible mark, is strictly pegged to the euro at a fixed rate. This gives foreigners predictable pricing, but it also imports Eurozone inflation directly into local grocery aisles. The data leads to a clear conclusion. The Bosnian economy acts as a highly lucrative financial shelter for foreign wealth, while simultaneously enforcing a glass ceiling on domestic wealth accumulation. Because the country is outside the Schengen zone, you cannot just take a train across the border unchecked. Physical checkpoints are strictly enforced. This flowchart models the country's entry protocols, which act as a rigid filter based almost entirely on your geopolitical privilege. For those holding stronger passports, like the US, the EU, or the UAE, the path is entirely frictionless. You receive 90 days of visa-free entry upon arrival, making it an optimal hub for slow travel. For weaker passports, such as Indian passports, there is a specific loophole. If you already hold a valid multiple-entry Schengen or US visa, you can bypass local bureaucracy and enter visa-free. Without those existing visas, travelers face a highly bureaucratic, paper-heavy embassy process to gain entry. Culturally, the streets are incredibly welcoming. Legally, the borders heavily favor Western documented travelers. In winter, the landscape freezes over, offering access to highly affordable Olympic-grade skiing compared to the Alps, provided you can handle the harsher temperatures. When evaluating safety, the cities are statistically secure. Violent crime is extremely low, though crowded tourist hubs in Sarajevo do see petty pickpocketing. But stepping outside the city limits requires an entirely different risk assessment. There is a non-negotiable warning for anyone exploring the deep nature here. Rural and mountain territories still contain active, unexploded landmines left over from the 1990s. The absolute rule for hiking is simple. You never, under any circumstances, deviate from officially marked trails. Exploring Bosnia and Herzegovina means abandoning the passive habits of a typical vacation. The environment demands historical respect and active situational awareness. This brings us to the final verdict. This country is not a one-size-fits-all utopia. It is an economic optimization tool. Here is how the matrix breaks down. For digital nomads earning external currency, it is highly recommended. The cost-to-lifestyle ratio is exceptionally strong, allowing you to stretch your income significantly further than in Western Europe. For budget travelers, the recommendation is conditional. It is a brilliant destination, but only if your passport aligns with the existing visa exemptions. If not, the administrative friction will outweigh the savings. For expats looking to relocate and seek local employment, it is strictly not recommended. Wealth accumulation is mathematically improbable when you are earning median local wages against euro-pegged prices. Ultimately, your success here is determined before you ever book a flight. It depends entirely on the source of your income. So, would you move your remote merc to Europe's most affordable hidden valley? Let us know in the comments. Next time, we decode the economic structure of Botswana, the diamond fortress of Africa. Subscribe to stay real.